All right, let's do this one real quick.
In your mind, is this the beginning of the end for the prescience of the U.S. dollar?
Human meat.
It's the beginning of the end of the monetary system as we know it. It's not just the US dollar, it's the fiat monetary currencies.
We are witnessing a complete breakdown of the
So are dollar bills gonna be obsolete now? Is there gonna be like an American Bitcoin or something?
monetary order in real time. Gold has surged past.
I mean, it makes sense though, right? Because no one uses cash. I don't even. Well, I have touched like cash, but bro, I like for the most part, I just use Apple Pay all the time. I just use Apple Pay. Apple Pay. Never use cash. Don't even carry cash. There's no need.
$5,000. Silver has ripped up past 117.
Holy shit.
And you even see emerging market stocks booming.
Oh my
But the
God.
real story here, I think, is a little bit deeper than what we're seeing in these headlines. This isn't about stocks going up. It's not about gold and silver hitting historic highs, or about making crypto holders question every life decision they've ever made. This is a complete revaluation of all assets versus the US dollar, and the truth is that this may all be a part of a much bigger plan to implement a new monetary system. But why is this happening exactly? What comes next, and what does this mean for you and your money? The dollar is collapsing. Last year, we saw about a 10% drop in the dollar index. And the dollar index measures the value of the US dollar against a basket of 6 major foreign currencies, mostly the euro at 57%,
Damn.
the Japanese yen at 13%, the British pound, and then the Canadian dollar as well. So on a global scale, the dollar is losing purchasing power versus other currencies. The DXY, the dollar index going down, typically indicates a bullish scenario for risk assets. But the more telling measure of what is going on right now is in the price of precious metals. For gold,
Okay.
it's demand from central bank buying. Countries have been moving away from holding their reserves in US dollars and moving them toward gold. But that's not it. We're seeing all precious metals rise. For other metals, we're looking at industrial demand and production shortages. We're seeing massive rises in the prices of platinum, copper, aluminum, palladium, and more.
Dude, I don't know if this has any correlation with anything. You're right? I don't know. But my One Piece cards are going up crazy. I don't know. I don't know if that has to do with anything.
And I'm expecting all of this to continue this year. The Trump administration is looking to lower interest rates, which would further exacerbate lower values for the US dollar. A lower rate of return on the currency means that I might be better off using another currency to go out and invest or to earn a yield on that currency.
Yeah, honestly, guys, fuck cash. Just buy One Piece cards. Just buy One Piece cards. Just buy Pokemon cards. Just buy cards, bro. Fuck it. It's gonna hold better. Its value better than any type of currency. So, yeah. Fuck the dollar.
And Trump has even spoken about why he doesn't mind a weaker dollar and why this is actually good for the United States.
When we have a strong dollar, one thing happens. It sounds good. But you don't do any tourism. You can't sell tractors. You can't sell trucks. You can't sell anything. So I will never say I like a low currency, but you remember the battles I had with the yuan, with China and with Japan, Japan being the yen. They always wanted a weak currency. They're trying to get a weak currency now. Now, it doesn't sound good, but you make a hell of a lot more money with a weaker dollar. Not a weak dollar, but a weaker dollar than you do with a strong dollar. And I had so many different fights with President Xi.
Don't you I'm dumb, right? I didn't go to college or nothing, but isn't it basically the same? It's just optics. It looks like more because it's worth less, so you get more. Because everything just adjusts to inflation, right? So it's you're getting more, but then everything costs more. It's not like things are gonna get cheaper. Or am I tripping?
with between Japan and China, all they want to do is have a weak currency. They're always fighting for a weak currency. And that's how they really dominated over the years. So when I see it down there, I don't lose sleep over it, let's put it that way. In fact, sometimes I go to sleep very happy.
A weaker dollar means higher exports. Seeing that one component of GDP is net exports, then when you combine a weaker dollar with high tariff policies that decrease imports, these two forces moving in opposite directions like that could push GDP to levels we haven't seen in many years. But there's a chance that this weaker dollar policy is actually part of a broader currency war. It's one thing for the value of the dollar to go down, but it's another thing for the amount of US dollar reserves being held by foreign nations to go down. This is where the US might have some sort of a trick up its sleeve. The one asset class that isn't playing along with this monetary reset is crypto. While everything else is...
Hey, put your money in crypto, chat. Put your money in crypto. Shit, that's just low right now. Crypto is low. But the thing with crypto is that it's a global currency. Isn't that like bad?
It's booming. Crypto,
Is that good? I don't know. Bro, I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor.
asset class that's
By any means.
designed to directly
Do
address
not take my financial advice, bro. I'm broke.
the flaws of fiat currency is actually heading lower. But there's something going on here that might be worth taking a look at. Many believe that institutions are suppressing the price of crypto the same way that they believe institutions have successfully done so with gold and silver over the past few years. Some would hypothesize that institutions are waiting for full regulatory green lights, and specifically for the Clarity Act to pass before lifting the lid on this asset class. I want you to hear what the former Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Catherine Austin Fitts, had to say about this in a conversation that she had with Todd Sachs from Sachs Realty.
We are in a central banking reset. Every 80 to 120 years, the central banks do a reset. We started into the going direct reset in August 2019.
Holy shit.
They're planning on fundamentally changing the model because new technology allows them to do it. So if they come out with CBDC or stable coins with programmable money, they're going to end currency and go into a financial transaction control model.
Oh my god, it's over. It's over for us guys. Oh my god. Yeah. Don't hold money. Holy
Congress
shit.
passed the Genius Act. There's a lot on the Genius Act, and we have a briefing on stable coins. That's a regulatory framework for stable coins. They're working now on what is in the House is the Clarity Act and what is in the Senate, the Responsible Financial Innovation Act, and that oversees asset tokens. If you think the bubble's bad now, if they do what they say they're going to do with asset tokens and stable coins, we're not even halfway up the bubble curve.
Damn.
We're talking about a much bigger bubble than most people can dream of if it works. I'm not saying it works. I hope it doesn't work.
Let's keep in mind that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent once told everyone right after they passed the Genius Act that stablecoins would be used to maintain the dollar's dominance on a global stage.
As President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that.
Could it be that the world is about to undergo a complete monetary reset that involves the implementation of stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, and some form of crypto?
There will come a time, gradually then suddenly, when the attractiveness of the dollar relative to other currencies could change. One of the benefits of the crypto economy is that it creates some counter incentives on the part of the Fed to do that kind of policy because people will flee to other kinds of assets. And that sort of market competition is something that I think will ultimately shore up our monetary policy and keep the dollar where it rightfully ought to be, which is as the dominant reserve currency it's been for all of our lives.
I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is financial advice.
Me neither.
Please, don't take financial advice from a random guy on the internet. But this is what I'm watching in preparation for the complete collapse of the dollar. First, hard assets like gold and silver might be at the beginning of a monstrous rise. If so, there will be massive pullbacks along the way. But I'm personally not convinced that this train is going to slow down anytime soon. When you look back at history, at how commodities move, they tend to move in larger cycles that last for years at a time. Now, the second thing is on the equities side of the equation. I personally expect that AI in the energy sectors.
Guys, if you guys are watching this, I'm kind of brain dead. I'm talking to YouTube. So, can you explain to me this if you were trying to explain it to a 5-year-old in the comments? Thank you.
Will probably be the biggest winners in terms of equities. The global demand for energy will only continue to rise, and AI itself will play a massive role in the future economy. AI is also dependent upon the higher use of energy for all of it to actually work the way that it's being designed today. Now, if you wanted to have the fastest horse in the race regarding dollar debasement, when it comes to equities, these are the two sectors that I'm going to keep the closest eye on. And in the energy realm in particular, I think nuclear probably has the most asymmetric opportunity. And finally, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this, but I personally think it might be a little bit myopic to ignore the potential for a complete rewiring of the financial system utilizing technologies such as stable.
Dude, I think like currency changing to like digital, it's inevitable, right? It's the way of the future. We don't want to hold like physical money. We don't. Well, at least I don't, right? And less people, I feel like the use of like Apple Pay and like even like crypto, I feel like it's like heading. I feel like it's inevitable. Inevitable. It's just a matter of when.
Coins, central bank digital currencies, and some form of crypto. Bitcoin, at the very minimum, could be a way to try to maintain your sovereignty in a world where all money goes digital. Or, when it comes to working with the system as it evolves, you can't ignore what Ripple is doing. They are directly working on setting up solutions that would make central bank digital currency.
What's Ripple? XRP?
Is a lot.
Oh, you know the XRP guys are going crazy over this.
More real. And they might be using stablecoins as a way to keep people from thinking that what they're doing is all that bad.
Right. Ripple is XRP. Oh my god, guys, I'm not shilling Ripple. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, never mind. It is an
You
XRP.
also have stablecoin issuers like Circle, who are now publicly traded companies, and that may play a very massive role in how the world moves forward. The US is using stablecoins as a way to reignite demand for its treasuries, and that could be really important in this world where everyone's trying to move away from the dollar. But really, what happens here is that the people that are in these currencies that are continuing to hyperinflate, the actual citizens need a way to protect their money, and stablecoins might actually provide the answer to that. Now, finally, Chainlink sits at a very important place in the overall need for interoperability and for data to flow in and out of these new types of digital currency systems. And you really can't ignore it because they've also already very openly been collaborating with the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation in making some of this future a real thing. But I don't know, maybe I've completely lost the plot. What did I miss? What did I get wrong? Or how could I be looking at all of this differently? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want access to unique insights regarding what I'm actually doing with this kind of information, if you like reading, consider joining my Patreon for my weekly macro newsletter.
W Patreon promo. That was a good video though. That was actually a good video. Good insight. Yeah, I think the world is changing in many ways, not just currency, guys. So if you guys are Gen Z, well, I guess anyone alive really, but bro, if you guys are Gen Z, I feel like we were born in the most like critical times of humanity probably ever, bro. Like in 100 years, the world is gonna be so different than what we used to know. I feel like we're gonna get to see Gen Z. We're gonna be the first ones to see both sides of the coin, and it's